Good morning. It is now Saturday, October 16th, 6:15 a.m. I'm just going to give you a quick update about where things are at, some things that happened this week. So, first of all, with respect to this channel, I've made a commitment when I started this channel to do a video once a day for 365 days. Now, I have missed a few days this week in particular. So, I'm going to recommit myself to get on track and stay on track. And yeah, so that's kind of my observation there. I mean, when you make a plan, you got to stick to it. I mean, that's the foundation of it. So this past week and a half, I had this idea that came from research resulting from a guy I know who was asking about needing some consulting help with a little project of his. So it's in the real estate world. It's got to do with marketing materials and videos and stuff like that. So my buddy's he's doing these Matterport 3D videos of a property, and he's got a special add-on he wants to do for those in a kind of non-traditional context. But what I took away from that when I was doing my research, I found this really interesting thing where if you think about aerial drone videos, they're not able to fly a drone everywhere at all times of the year. So I thought, well, I saw this one listing, a real estate listing, where they're doing this map spin with Google Earth. I thought, that's interesting. So I went out, made a quick prototype, just kind of fudged it, and then kind of did a one of, and then I showed it to a realtor friend of mine, and she thought it was absolutely great. So that's cool. Then I went and made it a little bit more so I could do it a little bit more at scale. So what that means is it's scripted. Now I can punk in an address and I can generate this whole Google Earth kind of thing. It'd be a kind of a neat thing to demo out here. Anywho, interesting. I just had that thought here. But anyways, so from that, what I was thinking here is I just had an idea. Maybe instead of me just doing this as a service, I can make it as a software and sell the software to people who that's interesting. Interesting. I'll come back on that one. So anyway, moving along. I started doing some marketing on that. So I've tried a gamut of things. I did some traditional spam. So I sent emails, text messages, web forms, set up an Instagram, liked a bunch of stuff, got a bunch of things. I think I'm up to 11 followers now on my new account. Got a domain, got a Shopify site set up, got the listing, got a quick one page on the front page. I got all this stuff going, and I started running some ads, got shut down, got started up, got shut down, got started up. And it's produced, I don't know, say 20, 25, links to my site, but no purchases, right? So it's been like 10 days, 11 days now, and not a single bite, not a single purchase. And click-through rates, on average, 0.62. So in my books, that's very low. I think about that and think, okay, well, the cost to acquire a customer is going to be ridiculous. But I mean, if I look at it from a first sale perspective, I'll be losing money forever. But if that one person becomes a lifetime customer and they're generating a lot of listings, no one could do it. It could spend say $40 on a customer acquisition, but that could turn into a couple $100 down the line. That's the theory. But the problem is no one's biting. Not one bite, not one sale. So I think I've got my ads. I'm on day 3, 4, 5, something like that. And they run for 4 or 5 days. So I'm going to let them run to the conclusion just to kind of populate the pixels, get the Facebook pixel populated, and then kind of park it, I think, and then shut off those, not going to renew those ads. And then, spend the $80 or whatever on the ads just to get the data. So I ran 4 ads, 3 of them, all 3 different goals, different markets, different things. So there's a bit of contrasting there. I probably could do a lot better on the content, like the wording and the image, what you see, all that stuff could probably be different. But most of them, I think, were all just boosts. So you post something on a social media account, There's a little button there as a page manager. You can boost it, and then it'll just kind of share that to people outside your page or your Instagram. So that's what I did. Just trying to get it going. Just trying to see if it would fly. Some of the spamming I had done most of in the last day was asking people about trying to get, instead of trying to sell them on something or trying to push a product on them or ask them to come check out my site. It was more about, hey, can you help me? I'm trying to figure out this thing. Is this a valid service? Is this something that's got legs, or is this a dog? Should I shoot it? Is it old Yeller time, or is it time to get a kennel and get going here? Anyway, I had 3 responses out of that. No, 2 responses out of that. I had one realtor actually replied to me about one of the spams I made. He gave me some good feedback. He said he would prefer to have a real drone as opposed to a Google Maps spin. So, okay, makes sense. I mean, I was showing off. I did a demo for him, and it's like a $2.4 million property in Brooklyn. So I'm like, well, of course, he's going to want something a little more fancy. Makes sense. And then I had sent in a bunch of LinkedIn contacts. I contacted, I think, 25, 30, something like that. And I had I had 3 responses or 3 interactions. One was one of those people looked at my profile but didn't reply. One of them replied with an actual message, and it was a little hard to read, but what he was basically saying is it would make sense with what I'm making these little videos to do a spin as part of a lead-in to an actual video. So just maybe a few second clip on the intro just to show the community, and then it fades into like a demo of the house or whatever, right? So that's a good way. So that means my interpretation from there is that the realtor is not the customer. The customer that would be paying would be the photographer/videographer, whoever's producing that content for the realtor. So I would need to work with them to get them able to do some stuff. So, and then the third one was another one of those LinkedIn people. I had sent a request, hey, can you help me validate this thing? And then she didn't reply. She just accepted my LinkedIn connection. So I'm like, all right, I guess we're buddies now, but I didn't ask the question. So, I mean, at the end of the day, all this stuff is not giving me a warm, fuzzy feeling about having this. This is not, I don't think this is a service. So I think I need to shut that down. And so maybe what my next plan is, and I'm just thinking about this, is instead of selling the service, sell it as a software that maybe to photographers, videographers, and they can go and use this, and they can make the Google Earth spins, and I just support them in that process. So maybe I sell it to them for like $100, $99 a year, and then they go and make those things, and they can do whatever the hell they want with them. I mean, integrate them into videos. They can do whatever they kind of choose to. So that could be a good idea. I like that, actually. Because one, it's a higher price point, so I can afford some ads, and then second of all, realtor video, I mean, it's not really done out there, so this would be a good way for them to add some content that's easy. Yeah, that could be a good way. So coming on to the next thing here, Arbanon. So this past week I was in part of a group for there's a guy I know. His name is Sean. He has an FBA related group, and he has these occasional Zoom meetings for just whoever wants to come in. So he does this neat little roundtable. Everyone gets to share about what they're up to and their FBA business, what they're challenged with, and everyone kind of pitch in, give some suggestions and ideas and stuff like that. So it was interesting because I was able to kind of give a lot some feedback to some guys about what they're up to. Not just purely FBA related things. It was more like business related things. So I have that background, so I can consult with them. So that's cool. But I got to talk about Arbanon quite a bit. And that was interesting because there was a lot of conversation about that. It seemed like Sean was very interested in hearing a lot about that. He's the group leader. And there's another fellow in there. He was very interested in, he wants to meet with me in a couple weeks here once things have died down with Q4 a little bit. Meet up with me and talk about how can I maybe solve some of his problems. And so for the uninitiated, Arbanon has like this, I focus on these 5 kind of I call them the 5 P's of e-commerce. And the first P is product. So you got to figure out what you want to buy. You got to decide what is it the brands or the sources that you're going to, or not the sources, but what is it you're selling, right? You need to have that kind of figured out. You need to have a plan. So you need to start off with, say, what are my goals? Where am I headed with this? Then you can have your product. Then you can buy it. That's the procurement side of things. And then there's the placement, which is the marketing and getting it into the hands of the customer. And the last part is, did all that work result in a profitability? And so, they're asking what does this software do? And so I said, well, this is where frankly, I'm struggling with this whole project, is that it's not an easy thing to communicate to someone. If I go to someone and say, this is what I told them. I said, if you're using, say, something like Be Cool, which is a repricer, I can say, hey, we got a repricer, and you know exactly what that means. The repricer is a repricer. It changes the prices on your Amazon products, so it's responding to market changes. Okay, that makes sense. Now, what we're doing is we solve a lot of problems. So it's not just one thing. We're not a one-trick pony. So one at a time, these little things don't solve a big problem, but on the whole, it solves a lot of problems, right? And that becomes it's like a really interesting situation, right? Because then all of a sudden, it's like one of the guys, that guy who wants to do a demo in a couple of weeks. He's struggling with it. He's grown his business tremendously. He's the kind of guy that's young, go-getter, and he's not being able to grow his business, but now he's got some virtual assistants here and there and everywhere. He's got himself. He's got a bunch of stuff going on. So all that means is data. And so they've got some spreadsheets, Google Sheets, and then they have this thing called Zapier, which sucks and pushes and data gets moved around. But he says they're always dealing with errors, and that thing breaks, those things breaking, and that's exactly why it is. I call that spreadsheet hell, because you get in there, someone changes a formula, somebody oopses and deletes something, cuts and pastes the wrong thing, and then the whole thing falls apart. And that's where a database like an Arbanon can really help, because they can't fudge that stuff. They can't break it. I can break it, but that's different. So yeah, I think there's some value there. And Sean was actually talking about, so he does a lot of private label. So what that means is they go to China, buy some product, they have it manufactured from scratch, then they have to track it to get it here into Amazon storage and get it sold. So there's this whole logistics piece about when they've ordered it. There's all this stuff that's got to get tracked, way bills and duty and blah blah blah. There's all sorts of customs things, and dealing with brokers and and so that's a big gap in my system, because I don't do PL. I've never done it. I don't know about it, so I haven't built for it. And so the system right now is really tuned for arbitrage and for a wholesale kind of seller, which is not to say I can't add this other stuff. I mean, as a platform, as a database, it's all there. The platform is there. I just need to, I can elevate and add in workflows, functionality, storage of information, screens to input it, reports to collect it, exports to pull it out, imports to bring more stuff in. So all this stuff is very feasible now, right? So I'd like to hook up with him, figure out what can be done there. I just assume that there's not much of a problem to solve for PL, but maybe there is. Who knows? So, anyways, in the last couple of weeks, I've been really backed off on the Arbanon, and I've been feeling pretty depressed about everything, because I feel like, I look at this whole virtual drone video.com experience, and it's like, well, I feel like it's like been another situation where I've tried something and it's failed. And, I think maybe I need to stop beating myself up so much, because I think what I have to think about on this is, step back and take a look at this thing. I have this thing on the screen right now, and I'm looking at it and thinking, you know what, the success here is, yeah, this actually works. I do see some pretty good engagement percentage-wise, like it's 15-20% people are engaged when they watch the videos. There's a pretty good level of interaction there. So from an end user perspective, there's some value there. I think there's still a little bit of something there. I mean, obviously Google Maps, Google Earth, they exist for a reason. People want to see and know where we're going to places. So I think there's something in there. So But as a business, I mean, my first and greatest talent, I think, is in software. So I think what I need to look at is how can I turn this into a tool that these guys can use and yeah, they can use. And I could do this on a web-based application too. Interesting. All right, I'll have to think about this a little bit more. Anyways, I'm kind of excited now. So that's what I know. And yeah, so things are good. I think what I'd like to do, what I could say is, like when you're sitting back and thinking, you gotta sit back and think. And if you're not doing that, you're not engaging in how you're running your business. You're engaging in doing your business. And this past couple of weeks, I've been feeling really down because I don't feel like I've gotten success. That little Zoom meeting the other night was a nice reminder that okay, yeah, there are people who want this thing, this Arbanon. So I need to just get out there and figure out how to engage that audience and grow it and develop it. And it's depressing in the sense that I don't want to spend a lot more time on development and building and not having a financial reward because I'm like, I feel like I kind of been there, done that. I built a lot of stuff. It's freaking 3 years now. Over 3 years I've worked on this though, on that thing. And it's just like, frick, I need to see a reward. I need to see some inputs. And I'm on the back end here. This is the other thing that's really stressing me out here is I was hoping to get out of consulting for good. I absolutely hate doing consulting. Hate it. Anyway, so I got an interview this coming Friday with his first consulting gig. It's technical role and the pay is crap. It'll be like going back literally. I haven't made this low of a rate in 20 years. So it's a huge hit to my pride. Like I should be going up, not down in my revenue per hour. So I feel very, I don't know. Even just thinking about it now, I just feel like I've just lost. I just feel like it's depressing. Like I kind of need the cash right now, so I can't say no. But it's really depressing. It's really, really depressing me that A, I hate the work. B, I hate that type of client and work. C, the rate is just, it's like, I feel like it's insulting. It's way below me. And I just, I just, I don't know. I don't know. What do I do? I have to pursue it because I need the cash. That's the sad part. It's just like you're rocking a hard place and you got to do what you got to do, I guess. But it's not a fun time. I feel like I'm going backwards, like by a long shot. Like I feel like I've gone through so much crap in my last few years that I've lost everything. I'm in the hole, like 6 figures in the hole, like big time, and lost millions of dollars. Like all my assets were wiped out. I got only debts and negative net worth of 6 figures. Is ridiculous right now. And then I go do this thing and it's like, okay, well, it's like all the work I've done in the last 24 years has built up to nothing. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's really bothering me. It's really, as I think about that, that's really bothering me. And so then I have this software that's sitting there. I think it's got a lot of potential. I think it could do some stuff, but like if people don't care, why should I care? Like I built it for people. I want them to be successful in their businesses. I know how to get them there, and they don't want to be led. I don't know. Maybe I need to branch out, get some more people on my team, and who can help me with this marketing and get some of the engagement that I can't do as well. So yeah, I don't know. Those are things rattling around. Anyways, this is 20 minutes on going on 20 minutes now, so I should probably cut it off. But at any rate, probably no one's going to watch this either, so it doesn't matter. It's going to be more for myself than my posterity. So that's good. I'll come back to this in a few years or maybe in a year and say, well, come a long way. or I didn't. I don't even know. Who knows? Anyways, I guess I'm gonna get on here with my day and do some stuff. I'm gonna think about this as a software. This thing actually might be more useful for that purpose. Anyways, talk to you soon. Peace out. All right.